This screencast is to review the last two assignments for teaching portfolio. So the last two assignments consist of writing the conclusion and then writing the overview. There is one assignment that has to go in between, but that will be the subject of professional practice course that we're starting tomorrow. So for your conclusion, so what I'm going to represent here is, again, just to reiterate a point that I like to make, is that I'm going to just outline some things here as sort of guidelines and represent them as a way to do things and not the way. So this is a little bit of an image I captured off of the University of Canberra website, and it has a number of points that I'm going to run through in this little presentation with respect to writing a conclusion. So you can review that at your leisure. The PowerPoint's available on the link for the assignment and on the link for presentation for today's date. So from the course outline, what we've got is this portion of the portfolio wraps up the whole package and is a place for you to make your final reflections or thoughts on your teaching career, on your methods and practice up to this point in time. A little bit more formally, one of the things that you might do is think about this as an activity where you're thinking about learning that you've done, a meta activity. You get an opportunity here to integrate and synthesize your ideas, and then finish by pondering on what is the big picture for you as you move forward and you reflect on the construction of your teaching portfolio. So you want to integrate and synthesize the ideas that you've sort of collected as you've worked on this, what kind of consequence that's had for you in terms of the learning that you've had about your own teaching practice, and where you might be going from here. What a conclusion is, and it's not simply just a summary. It's not just a focus on one piece of your teaching portfolio. So you're not just going to talk about your course portfolio. And a conclusion is not a place to introduce really new ideas. So other than maybe to reflect on at the end about the big picture. In closing or in conclusion is a great way to finish it off. Those statements for conclusions are not trite and they're not overused. Write it in an essay style and give me your summary and closing ideas about how you've reflected on this process and what it's meant to you. The second part of this presentation today is the assignment that actually gets written last, and we need these for next Tuesday because we need the teaching portfolios completed for our showcase. If you haven't seen the showcase information, it's located on the website for the date for last Tuesday. There's a link to PowerPoint and a screencast that I made, as well as a link to the session that was done on Adobe Connect. So the last thing is to write the overview. And the overview is something that's also known as an abstract. Sometimes you can see it in documents as an executive summary. Essentially, you save this until you've got everything else done, and then you want to just give people essentially what amounts to something that you might call a prelude. So write an overview from our course outline considers an executive summary. This is one bookend to the final section of the portfolio, which is the conclusion. So this is where it starts, and then you do basically an introduction of what your whole portfolio is about for your readers. Some guidelines here. Your abstract's title should summarize the abstract, 6 to 10 keywords, your name, your institutional affiliation, then write the main body of your abstract with an introductory sentence, again in essay style, outline what the teaching portfolio addresses or what it includes. You can describe a little bit about the process of putting it together, and an overview can also include a really quick statement about what your conclusion is, what you some insight in a very brief way that you might sort of just refer to that last section, the conclusion. And here's a sample written by Bev King from last year. And a conclusion or an abstract or an overview, generally they run in the range of, well, it varies in the kind of journals that people write for or articles that get executive summaries, but typical executive summary or an abstract might be in the range of 125 words. This particular example here runs at about 103 words. Then, once you've got all of the components of your teaching portfolio completed, one of the things that you might want to do is to either set your entry point for your teaching portfolio course to either the overview or to your resume. So these would be a couple of common entry points. So what you need to do that is to go into your Blackboard course with your name where you have your teaching portfolio, and go into the control panel section, which is the lower half of the main menu on the left, and activate the drop-down menu under customization and go to teaching style. Teaching style will open this window here, and under this introductory section it says select course entry point, activate the down arrow, and you can select whatever number of pages there are in your teaching portfolio and select either your overview or select your resume, whichever one you think would suit you the best. And that's that.